The aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford will sail from the U.S. East Coast for Europe on a regularly scheduled deployment. But its presence also gives U.S. President Donald Trump a third aircraft carrier option as he weighs what sort of military response the U.S. should provide as tensions between Israel and Iran escalate. According to Associated Press, the Ford was previously deployed to the eastern Mediterranean as a show of strength and to provide options to Israel following the October 2023 attacks by Hamas. The U.S. Navy already has the USS Carl Vinson aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea, and is sending the USS Nimitz to sail toward the Mideast from the Indo-Pacific. China sends mystery cargo planes to Iran after Israeli strikes, The Telegraph reports. At least 3 Chinese cargo planes have flown to Iran in 3 days despite official statements that they were headed to Luxembourg, raising concerns about possible military aid to Tehran as tensions with Israel escalate. Following the recent Israeli strike on Iran, China sent a series of Boeing 747 cargo planes to the Islamic Republic. Flight monitoring data showed the planes departing from Chinese cities including Shanghai, flying through Central Asia and disappearing from radar near the Iranian border. The flight plans listed their final destination as Luxembourg, but the planes were not detected in European airspace. Experts are concerned about what exactly the planes were transporting. Experts note that such planes are often used to transport military equipment. These shipments are bound to generate a lot of interest because of the expectation that China might do something to help Iran, said Andrea Gazzelli, a lecturer at the University of Exeter. China and Iran are strategic partners united by their common opposition to U.S. global influence. Iran, as a key energy supplier to China, including up to 2 million barrels of oil daily, remains Beijing's priority partner in the region. The collapse of the regime in Tehran would be a blow to China's interests in the Middle East, Gazzelli noted. Despite this, Beijing is likely to be careful not to damage relations with the U.S., especially amid the ongoing trade war. Cargolux, which operates the flights, denies using Iranian airspace but has not provided information on the contents of the cargo. Since manifests for such cargo are closed, it is not yet possible to identify their contents without independent verification. China has previously attempted to supply weapons disguised as civilian products. In particular, European intelligence intercepted attempts to transfer drone components disguised as wind turbine parts. And last year, a media investigation exposed a scheme to send billion-dollar drones to Libya through a network of shell companies. Recall, the situation between Iran and Israel remains tense. Both countries are aggressively bolstering their defenses and engaging in diplomatic maneuvering internationally. This escalation raises the risk of a broader regional conflict involving allies of both sides, particularly the United States, Hezbollah, and other Middle Eastern organizations.
After a series of massive Israeli strikes on Iranian territory, more and more experts are saying Iran is following the path of Syria, and this is already irreversible. The loss of dominance in the skies, internal repression, growing chaos, and the possible collapse of the regime. Such a scenario could not only change the situation in the Middle East, but also leave Russia without a key partner in the region. Analyst of the organization UANI, or Together Against Nuclear Iran, Kasra Arabi, compared what is happening in Iran with the events in Syria in the 2010s. In his opinion, the Ayatollah regime is entering a phase of Syrianization, When a powerful external military force takes control of the airspace and begins targeted destruction of command and infrastructure. Israel has already proven that it can strike anywhere in Iran, and this is becoming the new norm. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, operate in the skies of the Islamic Republic as freely as they used to over Lebanon and Syria. Now, essentially with impunity, Arabi emphasizes the loss of control in the skies leads to increased control on the ground. Ayatollah Khamenei, like Assad once did, will rely on internal repression and security forces, especially the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. But, as the Syrian experience shows, sooner or later this will not be enough. This is how Assad maintained power until internal decay and international isolation undermined the regime from within. Arabi does not rule out that Khamenei could be overthrown or eliminated even before the current escalation ends. If this does not happen, the country will face a long agony of the regime filled with repression, economic degeneration, and the destruction of the state apparatus. This scenario has already led to the gradual collapse of Syria. Now Iran may repeat the same path. Additional confirmation of the escalation are the words of Donald Trump, which were spoken on the day of the new strikes. We now have complete and total control over the skies over Iran. They had a lot of defensive equipment, but it does not compare to American technology. No one does it better than the United States, the former president said. This statement not only underlines the alliance between Washington and Tel Aviv on the Iranian issue, but also points to Tehran's waning ability to defend itself. For Russia, the consequences could be strategically devastating. After the fall of the Assad regime in Syria, Iran remained the Kremlin's last close ally in the Middle East. The loss of Tehran, or its transformation into an unstable, isolated state, means the collapse of Russia's entire line in the region. Without Iran, Russia will be left without a support base, without an ally, and without the influence it has spent years building amid its confrontation with the West. Israel's air power, the tacit support of the United States, and the deep vulnerability of Iran's air defenses makes the process of Syrianization of Iran virtually irreversible. And no matter how much the Khamenei regime resists, its time may be numbered.